Hey, Arl?
Sonne.
Yeah, approved. You may come in. Okay. First possible start, if you ask me, it'll be around 11 o'clock. You see that? That is between 30 and 40 knots. That's pretty good. So my plan now is to set all my gear up, so I'm ready, so I don't have to focus on that tomorrow. And I like to keep all my gear next to my bed. For some odd reason. I love competing with fresh gear. This is a 138 Atmos from North. Got that as a spare one. I got this one as a spare one. And then I have one that's already set up. I got fresh bars. Yeah, I kind of like it when it's brand new because then everything is straight, everything is crisp, and it's more of a mental thing, I guess, because I can ride a kite for a year and it's still the same, it still performs the same, but if it's mentally brand new, it just does something that, yeah, I kind of like that. So these two, and then I have another two in the car. Got some pads and straps, one board, and for the other one, orbit, 10 orbit, and another 10 orbit. I'll most likely just have a 10 on the beach ready to go, and then I'll pump both 9s. These two kites, they go on the beach. This one goes on the beach, and this one stays behind, because I think I only need 110. It's always good to have your caddy on the beach flying the same kite as you're on. So
Who's caddying for you?
my friend Thomas, he knows what I like in a kite, so he would pump it perfectly PSI, whatever a 9 needs. Probably bring another 9 just in case. So I have 3 9s, 2 on the beach, 1 riding. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Nothing ever happens, but rather have one too many.
Yep.
That should be all good. Oh. 10. 9. See, I never ride an 8, but the past 2 competitions that I've been doing, I needed the 8.
Make a loop challenge.
Exactly. So now I have an 8. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, holy shit. Oh, look, I actually have another 2 9s. And another 8. And these kites. There's a 10. It's a 9. Oh, would you look at these freshies. Look what I did. But I'm actually gonna take that off, I think. What was I looking for? Oh, shit. I didn't know I had that. So Mystic made this beautiful harness for all the Mystic riders. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Got your name on it?
Hard shell. You know what? I think I'm just gonna set the boards up tomorrow. It's getting late and I feel like I should get a proper good night's sleep. I'll hang her here. Do I look ready?
Got any nerves?
Not really. No, not now. I'm just trying to focus. I'm just trying to figure out if I have everything that I need. I probably do. I just need to set the whole thing up, but I'll do that on the beach tomorrow. So I won King of the Air in 2017. Then I got injured in 18, which left me out of the competition, unfortunately. If this is the wind we'll be getting on tomorrow, between 30 and 40 knots, the game changes completely in a way compared to a day where you have, let's say, 25, 30 knots. Because if you have 30 knots, a lot of the guys, they do handle passes and they can do like double handle passes and they can do them pretty high. And I don't really do that. I'm gonna force myself into doing them if it's 25, 30 knots. So I'm just praying for 40 knots. I talked to Jesse tonight about his heat, and it sounds like he's got it pretty dialed. And that freaked me out a bit, because I would spot the kicker and then I would hit it, and then on the way up I would sort of decide what to do depending on the lift. Yeah. I should definitely change that approach, because you want to commit to one trick and stay fully focused whilst doing it. It's 3 tricks, right? Yeah. And then you have the overall impression of the heat, and that would probably be the biggest kite loop board off I can do. Grab the board, grab the fin, pretty quick after takeoff. So you pull the kite loop with one hand. I think that's going to score you a bit higher than doing a loop and then the board off, which a lot of the riders they do. So I'm going to grab the board, do the kite loop. I'll definitely do, and I'll definitely be doing, and then I'll do a, and then, but that's already 5 or 6 tricks. So I'll just see what scores the most, yeah. I guess. Check the score sheet after my heat, and then after my first heat, hopefully I'll advance. I think I'm gonna try and pull some later loops instead of hit the kicker, then you go up, then you pull the trigger. Then I'll try and wait a bit. So pull the kite. I've been practicing these kite loops with Graham actually the past few weeks, where you jump and you keep, instead of like you stop the kite and then you loop, or you can loop straight off the kicker pretty much, or wait for like a few meters and then loop it. This time I'm gonna try and pull it super slow, so I keep going up, and then instead of stopping it or instead of like looping it straight away, you just carry on that slow, like long loop, yeah. Which feels pretty awesome. And you, it's a bit of a combination of a high jump and a kite loop. I don't know what that's gonna score, but.
What's gone wrong in past competitions?
Oh, I'm the worst in riding comps, because it just gets to my head, and then I look at all the other guys, and then I get super hyped on what they're doing, and then that gets into my mind, and then that messes around with my whole game. I'm just gonna, sit in my car and maybe go for a little walk on the beach, a bit upwind or downwind, so I don't see all the other riders ride. But then on the other hand, it's pretty cool just to be there and look at all the guys, see what they've been training for, and I like watching all of them, to be honest. Pretty amazed on Ayrton's riding. That's pretty nuts. I think he's gonna do very well. Aaron, super steady, super, annoyingly good. Same with Kevin, just, Mr. Consistency. Really, really impressive watching them ride. Who else do we have? Lasse, he's also killing it. Jesse, obviously. All of them, pretty much. I'd like to see Graham in the event, though. I'm a bit bummed that Graham isn't in the event. I feel like Graham, he learns like 3 new tricks during a heat. Yeah. Because it just goes.
Right, he tries them.
At least he tries them, and then sometimes he would land, or he would try and visualize. Okay, how am I gonna do this? And then he tries, and then he either messes up or he pulls it off, and then he gets super surprised when he lands. I remember a few years ago when he did a big jump, and then I think he accidentally pulled the right side, the wrong side of the bar. So he did a mega loop, but a front kite loop instead of a back kite loop. And it was like way down there. I'm like, holy bananas. And then I thought to myself, what are the judges gonna, because you couldn't really tell if it was, which way it was going, because he was so far away. Right. Probably outside the box too, if I know Graham correctly. But I think if they realize he did a mega loop pulling the kite the wrong way around, that would have scored him way more. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I think it'll be interesting to see. Mark Jacobs, he's obviously killing it too. He's been training a lot. Liam Whaley, he's been here for like a month now. Even more, a month and a half just training, where the previous 2 years he arrived in Cape Town the next day, King of the Air, bam, it's on. And this time he's been, and then he still becomes second, which is crazy. In a good way, because he is really, really good at doing big air. Yeah. And competing, like being in that mindset of competition, it's really difficult. Yeah. It's very, very not easy. You ride out, you turn around, or you do a 180, you come back in, and then you see the whole beach. So many people looking at you. You see all the big cameras. they're, sending live. And then I keep thinking about all these people watching, and they expect you to put on a show. So, oh yeah, okay, so let me do that. And then, oh no, stick to the plan. So I'm everywhere. I'm like trying to analyze my heat from the outside, which is a pretty bad thing. But I'll try to stay focused this time. Can't wait. I just hope that will come through. Yeah, hopefully. In 40 minutes, I'm picking up my fiancée at the airport. She flew all the way down just to watch me compete in King of the Air. What a support. Yeah, and she gets way more nervous than I do. It's pretty fun to watch. She can't even speak. She's just like frozen on the beach. Come on! Yeah, so I gotta go to the airport.
All right. Good luck tomorrow.
See you for breakfast.